I'm just saying, a little description of each mobile suit would make my dreams of owning them as Gunpla a lot easier. You dream about a lot of mobile suits as Gunpla. Yes, Tracy, I do. Chapter 3, Kingdom of Sulphur. Universal Colony Year 118. A time when the endless wells of history continues unabated. Let us go back 1 year to UCY 117. Empire of Thalos declares war upon all neighboring star systems, dozens of space and planetary colonies within them. Empire's military powers are equal strength with each government they are at war with, so they are caught at a stalemate. However, halfway into the UCY 117, the Empire acquired a new weapon whose name would be heard through the future: mobile suits. These new devices smash through any and all resistance, and the Empire now controls more than 95% of the area. We now return to the UCY 118. 5 space colonies have had enough. They have landed 5 Gundams that they purchased from one Clark Axum onto the planet Thalos. Now begin their plans to take down the Empire. Melody took one final look around, making sure Dan or Arnhem hadn't planted any kind of cameras in or around the small waterfall that served as the 5 pilots' shower while they remained in the cave. The cave had been nearby when they had landed on Thalos after they successfully completed the first 2 stages of Operation Stardust. Melanie was pretty sure that Edmund didn't give a damn about seeing a girl's shower, but she thought Den or Aaron would be more suited to such a preferred thing. Hun, you're 12. Den was less likely, considering he seemed to have a genuine respect for girls, even when he was hitting on them. Aram, however, seemed like the ultimate drugged-up pervert Melanie had ever encountered. Melanie was feeling a little worn out. In the last 28 hours, she had raided her colony's store for food, witnessed her own colony's destruction, became pilot of Jubilee, survived an atmospheric drop from an asteroid, and had only gotten about 2 hours of sleep in all of that. She stripped down, leaving all her clothes on a nearby rock, and stepped into her shower. She sighed as the hot water, caused by a natural heart spring, poured over her, relaxing her tense muscles. She stood like that for about 3 minutes, until the makeshift shower curtain suddenly opened. She immediately opened her eyes to see Aaron pointing a video camera at her. Melody's face had turned bright red as he screamed. Aaron smiled until Den, with one hand over his eyes, grabbed Aaron by the back and shoved him away from the new Melanie. Aaron fell on his butt on the ground. Den turned to him, uncovering his eyes and ripping the camera from Aaron's hands. He threw it in a nearby rock, shouting it. No! All my hard work for nothing! Oh, get high on your Gundam's fuel, you pervert. Well now, ain't you playing, Mr. Nobility? Get out of here. Aaron shrugged and winked at Melanie, who had already covered herself with a towel to canola lend her. Dan turned around, covering his eyes again as Aaron walked off. It's okay. You can uncover your eyes. Dan slowly released his hand from over his eyes, and he smiled at her. Sorry about Aaron. He told me about his plans, wanted me to get on it, but I disagreed. I'm sure he did, and nicer than that pervert. Thanks. Does that mean I get a date? I think we have other consents and romance for you. It's another heartbreaker. Dan made a fake sigh. Will I ever find love? Melanie giggled low. Speaking of our other concerns, we're starting to receive orders from one of the colonies. Get dressed and move to the main chamber ASAP. A small transmitter was displaying the text message to the pilots. It looked like a small green orb. Nothing really impressive about it at all, except the monitor on it. The monitor displayed text that being placed on a few letters at a time. Melanie and Dad walked into the main chamber of the cave, where the other 3 pilots were situated. According to the coordinates you provided, you are close to the area of Thalos known as the Fire Zone. It is 20 feet of sulfur and other chemicals. Inside the Fire Zone is a heavily protected mobile suit factory. Your mission is to infiltrate that Fire Zone and destroy the factory. Now, there are several factors to consider in this mission. First of all, beam weaponry and other weapons that create extreme heat and can ignite inflammable substances are prohibited. Arsenal Gundam must remain behind because the intense heat and corrosives in the Fire Zone could destroy it. Also, for destruction of the factory, you must place an explosive charge and vacate the Fire Zone as quickly as possible. Also, when fighting mobile suits, disable but do not destroy them. The explosive could cause a cascade reaction and kill you all if you did not have the proper protection. End of message. Damn, gotta stay behind. Oh well, I can catch up on sorting my porn collection. The 4 Gundams moved slowly through the yellow liquid, looking around themselves with care. Light particles of sulfur steamed up from the liquid from their heat, covering the Gundams in yellowy haze. Automatic wash systems protected the external cameras and sensors. I thought sulfur was airborne, but the message didn't warn us about using our jetpacks while in fire zone. Well, I wouldn't recommend using the jets when they're this close to sulfur. That's why it's not airborne here. Those produces a natural compound in the atmosphere that eliminates gaseous sulfur. If we were standing on a rock or something else high enough, we could use our jets. Also, Edmund, how did you get involved with the resistance? Edmund said nothing in his reply. He merely kept his eyes on the external cameras. Edmund, please do not attempt to make small talk with me. We are soldiers, not here to socialize. Speak for yourself, Ed. I joined my resistance to meet chicks. Really? No, but it's fun to say. Hey, are you guys picking this up on your sensors too? The air pilots checked their short-range sensors. They all detected some kind of structure on the other side of the large rock formations. Before all grabbed hold of some of the larger ones and climbed up them. Liquid soldier drained off of them as they got higher up. When they reached the top, they slowly raised their heads over it to get a direct view. The direct structure itself had about 4 sections to it. The largest section, easiest to see, was the main dome where the mobile suits were being constructed. A slightly smaller section was off to the side of it, where there appeared to be 4 mobile suits on guard duty. Off to another side of it was what appeared to be a storage shed. The final part of it was a circular flat platform, extending several meters above the sulfur. Piercing some sort of landing and takeoff pad. It seems they have defenses. We have 2 options available to us. The first is to pull out an emergency beam weapon like we did bring it to blast them from distance, or engage in manual combat. Beam rifles are too risky to use at this range. No chance we could hit them. I'm with Dad. We're going to have to fight them manually. I think this might be a good time to point out I have 0 combat training when it comes to the Jubilee. In fact, I don't even know how to use a knife or shoot a gun. Pull the trigger? Oh, ha ha. Melanie, you're going to need to get some training in sometime anyway. And this is going to be child's play compared to the kind of fighting you're going to need to do. Alright, fine, let's do this already! Okay, ready weapons. Mobile dolls were considered to be opposite of what war was about. Instead of having soldiers fight on the battlefield in mobile suits, where many believed they should be, mobile dolls were completely automated and designed to defeat any enemy they came across with no mercy or honor. Of course, human ingenuity always seemed to triumph over artificial intelligence. That particular phrase seemed to come to light after Gallant had already unloaded a dozen bullets into the head of a Zaku mobile doll. There were 4 other mobile dolls on the platform, and every one of them pulled out some kind of weapon they saw their companion fall to the ground, riddled with enemy fire. 2 of them were Zaku's, whereas the others were Leo's. Surprise! The mobile dolls could not comprehend the communication from Dan Ryu as Golem leapt off the main wall of the platform of dolls, landed on one of the Leos. The sheer weight of the golem in his armor had fully managed to crush the Leo's head and waist into the platform, leaving it a crumpled mess of titanium alloys. Immediately, the other 3 dolls were turned and began emptying rounds of their own weapons at the golem, who blocked through his shield. Bullets ricocheted off of it or became embedded in it. Guys, a little help here. The sensors of one of the dolls detected something approaching from above. It stopped firing and looked up to see the Gallant in its Wavefire mode, slipping down and transforming back into Gallant. Realizing something happened to the Leo, this doll stepped aside as Gallant landed on the platform. Shaking from an impact, the Zaku doll that had stepped out of the way pulled a beam saber and sliced down at the Gallant. However, Gallant had already activated his beam saber, so the Zaku merely struck against Gallant's energy blade. As the Zaku tried to force his own power against the Gallant, Zaku's have heat, Hawks! Gallant rose up on his other arm, had a machine gun in his hand. He riddled the Zaku's chest armor with bullets, and seemingly the main functions. It collapsed on the platform easily. Seeing the superior firepower at play, the remaining Zaku and Leo activated their fruit jets and flew up to the roof to cover the entranceway into the main dome. However, what was waiting for them was Ken Lawless Gundam, Warpath. Unlike the light colors of the air Gundams on the team, Warpath was a very dark gray and had cover in weapons. A cannon in his back rose up onto his shoulder and aimed at the Leo. The cannon fired 2 large shells at the Leo. The shells splitting apart, taking out the Leo's head and torso. The collapsed as the Zaku continued to retreat, running at the dome. However, waiting for it was the Jubilee. I'm going to take a break from the fight here for a second. I need to look up something. Okay, I'm back. I just checked. No reference. These aren't references to Battletech, but wouldn't it have been weird? Melody took a deep breath as she prepared to beam saber in her hands. Nizaku in front of her seeing that had no more choice but to bow. He pulled out his own beam saber, and Jubilee and Nizaku stood, looking for a point where they could attack. He does nothing. Melody clenched her teeth as Jubilee began to run at Nizaku. Nizaku saw the way Jubilee was approaching would undoubtedly make it raise his beam saber again before it struck it down. As it began to rise up, Nizaku activated its footsteps and flew into the air, evading the saber. Melody gasped as she turned to Jubilee's head to see Nizaku falling back down. His foot smashed into Jubilee's head. Jubilee fell back with Nizaku on top of it. Nizaku raised its beam saber up and prepared to strike down with it and destroy the Jubilee. But Melody instinctively had Jubilee's arms grab Nizaku's leg and rip it off Nizaku. Losing its balance, Nizaku collapsed to the ground next to Jubilee. At this point, Melody was through playing around. Her race was at a breaking point. All she could see when she looked at Nizaku was the camera image of her colony's destruction. Melody roared in fury at Nizaku. Jubilee's hands grabbed onto Nizaku's head, ripping out the camera eye. The glass around it shattered. Jubilee ripped the camera out and threw it away. Then proceeded to dig its hands into his chest and opening it up, tearing at the bending metal away. When the skin had been opened, it began pulling out the innards of the mobile doll, primarily wires and cables. After Nizaku was quite obviously disabled, Jubilee continued to dissect Nizaku. Melody did not stop, and I think she only wanted revenge against those who had wronged her and stripped her of her home and family. You know, the thing is, I could see this happening on Gundam. Melody! It was the voice of Canola that got Melody to stop. Melody was breathing quickly, pulse fast, and her forehead covered in sweat. She looked at the image of Canola that appeared on the screen, Melody staring at her. I think it's dead. Melody nodded, released the pedals that had been under her feet when she had gotten on top of Nizaku. I'm sorry. They never came after me. It was just bloodlust. Happens to even the strongest of us in combat. Now let us set the changes and lead this kingdom of sulfur. Title's wrap.